A few years ago, I was scrolling on Facebook and I came across this post that said, well, it was a girl sitting alone at lunch, I think, and the caption of that post was something along the lines of, I don't wish this upon anyone, or this is so sad, but something along those lines. And I remember looking at that post and thinking, what's sad about this picture? Of course, some people do go through this in high school or middle school or even in college where they feel like they don't fit in, and so they struggle to make friends and talk to other people, and so they sit alone, and obviously they don't want to be alone, but they end up being alone because they struggle with making friends and stuff. But I was just like, why is it that if people see someone alone, the first thing they think about is, this is sad, or I feel bad for this person because she's alone? I think that when people usually see someone alone, they think, oh, like she has no friends. Oh, this is so sad. Like I'm sitting over here with my friend group and she's alone. And I was just thinking about that because I love being alone. I spend a lot of time alone and I love it. But because of how society or people around me perceive people sitting alone, I became scared of being alone in public. I used to feel so weird about it because I felt like if I was alone, if I was somewhere hanging out alone, people would look at me and feel bad for me. They would look at me and be like, this is so sad. Why is she alone? Like, doesn't she have any friends? People will automatically assume that you are depressed or that you are unhappy because you are hanging out alone. And that is not true. There's this Brazilian influencer that I absolutely love. She is just an icon. She goes everywhere alone. Does that mean that she doesn't have friends? Absolutely not. She literally goes on vacation alone, okay? She goes to restaurants alone, and I watch her stories and I feel like it's so peaceful. And I feel like one of the reasons why people always assume that if someone is alone, they're unhappy is because I feel like people are scared of sitting alone with their own thoughts. A lot of people are scared of their own emotions. They are scared of their own thoughts, and because of that, they can't be alone. I feel like it's a lot easier to avoid our problems in life when we are around people, when we are with our friends, when we have a lot of schoolwork to do. But when we have a moment just to be alone, I feel like it is very scary because that's when we have time to think about the good things and also the not so good things. And I feel like that's one of the things that a lot of people are scared about. But I think that being alone is an amazing thing. I think it's peaceful. I think that it's a way of, getting to know yourself. The other day I was also scrolling on TikTok and I came across this girl that said, no one will ever love you exactly how you want to be loved because that is your job. And I was like, oh, this is why sometimes when you are in a relationship, you have to tell your partner, this is what makes me feel loved. I like it when you do this. I love it when you do this. This makes me feel loved. It's because we have to teach someone how to make us feel 100% loved. And for that, we have to know what makes us feel loved. So you can't just expect love from your partner, from your friends, if you don't even know what makes you feel loved. And so that's why I feel like being alone is an amazing thing. I used to be terrified. Like I said, I used to be terrified of hanging out alone just in public. And one time I was like, you know what? Let me go to the movies. I went to the movies by myself, you guys. I think I watched It Ends With Us. That was the first movie. That was my first time in the movies by myself. And then I think I went and watched It Ends With Us, and then a few months after I watched Mean Girls. But guys, oh my gosh, please go on solo dates. It is an amazing thing. I'm still working on maybe going on a restaurant alone. I feel like it's a lot more awkward because when you go to a restaurant, like, you tend to like eat obviously, but like, you know, it's like conversation. So I feel like I'm working on it. I feel like going on a restaurant alone is a lot more awkward. Not so much because of like what others are gonna think, but like even myself, like I feel like I still have to work on that. But if you have the chance, please go on a solo date to the movies. You are gonna love it. I was with my popcorn, sitting in the back row, chilling, you guys. It was such an amazing feeling. And I was like, you know what? I should do this more often, you know? Because if you know me, you know I hate to depend on other people. I am extremely, like, I'm an achiever. So I like to do my things. I don't like to depend on anyone for anything. And so having that freedom of just literally doing what you want to do, going on solo dates without having to depend on other people. Because, you know, sometimes you want to, for example, go to the beach and then you ask your friends and like all of your friends are busy, and sometimes you end up not going anymore. Go alone. I like literally go alone. You're gonna have a blast. I know it can be awkward, but like I feel like being comfortable with your own presence, being comfortable with yourself, it's such an amazing feeling. And it's just something that like we need to be okay with, especially because yes, as humans, like we were created to live in community, to have a partner. Like we depend on other people to develop. We learn from other people. But I feel like it's also important to learn like by yourself. It's also important to be comfortable with yourself. Don't be scared of going on solo dates. Don't be afraid of being alone. And I know that it can be scary, especially when we're going through things and, you know, we are afraid of our emotions. We are afraid of our own thoughts. But challenge yourself. Sit alone with your own thoughts. Reflect on your past. Set goals. Journal. Something that I love to do is literally, I have a notebook. I think I've had like maybe 4 journals in the past, 4 years or 5 years. And I love journaling because it's like I write everything down. I write my feelings, I write my goals, I write like, it's like a diary. Like make it more exciting, make it like Dear Diary, like do what you want. But I feel like it's so important to love yourself so you can teach others how to love you, and just be comfortable with your own presence so you don't have to depend on other people all the time to hang out, to do the things you love to do. Get to know yourself so you can teach people around you how to make you feel loved, how to respect, like just spend time with yourself. I feel like that is so important, and it's beautiful. I think like a lot of people see others alone and assume that they're lonely and sad, but sometimes, hey, I'm just enjoying my own company. I love being alone. And to top it all, I love to talk to myself, but sometimes it's a little awkward, so I pretend I'm on the phone with them in public, but I'm really just talking by myself. It's an amazing thing, I promise. I literally just love getting to talk to myself and be myself and enjoy my own company. Hello. So try that and let me know how it goes. I feel like it's a beautiful thing. Just being by yourself and enjoying your own company, being comfortable with yourself. Yes, it will be scary to sit with your own thoughts alone, but challenge yourself. Don't be afraid of your emotions. Don't be afraid of your thoughts. You can do it. You can handle it. A lot of this thing where we feel like we need other people all the time, or we are afraid of our emotions and our thoughts, is because we feel like we can't handle them. You know, something that I learned last year is that you are stronger than you could ever imagine. You know, I am an anxious person, and I tend to be terrified of my emotions and my own thoughts, but You have the power to change your thoughts. You can handle your emotions. You can handle everything, I promise you. Sometimes something will cross your mind and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I would feel if this happened to me. It would hurt. You would cry. You would cry. It's an emotion. You can't run away from it. You know, you would go through it, but after that, you would be fine. You will be fine. You know, you can handle your emotions. You can handle yourself. You can handle whatever life throws at you. You don't have to depend on other people all the time. Yes, it is amazing to have friends we can count on, friends that can comfort us, a partner that will be there for us when we need them. But it's also beautiful to just know that you can handle your emotions. You can handle yourself. And I feel like when you know that your emotions are not your enemy, when you know that there aren't bad emotions, when you're like, I'm not scared of my emotions, you know, it's part of life, you'll be a lot more comfortable with yourself. So spend time alone. I'm not saying ditch all of your friends, please. I'm saying it's okay to be alone. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be afraid of what other people are going to think if they see you hanging out alone. Hey, enjoy your own company. You know, have a blast. Go to the movies. You know, eat your large popcorn with your large drink at the movies. Go to restaurants, which is something that I have to do. And just enjoy your life because it is beautiful and you deserve it.